grumpy about wrestling.
It's fine, I'm already grumpy.
Grumpy about wrestling. Welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. I'm Sam, and I'm joined by the babiest of all the baby Sams. He's so young, he doesn't know who S Club 7 are.
I do. I like S Club 7.
Don't
stop moving. Can you feel the music? That song.
And then copyright strike.
Sorry, was I so similar to the real product there? I do apologise.
This is our Lockbox series. It's a very simple series. We want to get rid of some particular things in wrestling. They could be tropes. They could be things that happen all the time. They could be storylines. They could be wrestlers. They could be movies. They could be whatever it is. And we are going to put them forward to be put in Vince McMahon's Lockbox. We don't know what was in the Lockbox. It turns out it was bad wrestling that we do not like. And that is what we're going to do today, Sam. Locky Box. How are you feeling about it?
I feel as though what mine is needs to go in there. I don't know if it's going to fit. To be
Okay,
honest.
so it's large.
Yes.
Should we start with mine then?
Sure.
Before we get into my Lockbox, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And let's find out what we're going to put on our Lockbox. Sam, mine is bullying. Because it's the first time in our Lockbox history that we're going to put in wrestlers.
Oh, wrestlers. Oh, I thought bullying was... I'm like, that's not really a wrestling
Hardcore Holly and JBL.
Yeah, that's where you were going.
This is the first time that we're actually going to have wrestlers go in. We've done tropes, we've done things, and I'm going to put
I didn't
in...
know that we could do that.
Yes, we can. You can do whatever you want, Sam. You can get, if you want to get rid of stuff in wrestling from history, you can absolutely do whatever you want. And I've decided, because it's August, so it's AEW and SummerSlam month in my eyes, I am going to remove from wrestling history every Young Bucks match.
Oh, you'll get no process from me, Samuel. Everyone that's ever existed. You would rather, let's rewrite history and say, instead of killing previous world leaders that caused wars, etc.
Yeah.
No, we're going to basically say that the Young Bucks never took up wrestling.
If I'm allowed to delete a thing,
that's it.
I picked that. Now, people, if you're a fan of the Young Bucks, I'm not going to say you shouldn't be a fan. I'm never going to say you shouldn't be a fan of this, that, and this. That's not. I'll never do that because. But you're an idiot. You're stupid. But it should always be personal preference. It should be a conversation, and this could even have been a controversial take. But for me, I don't think they get wrestling.
No,
I don't think they get it. I think there's too much ego. I think they did, and then I think they became bigger and decided they could do whatever they want.
Yes.
And
then call it revolutionary.
Yeah, call it different. And it's not. It's bad wrestling. They're not having a match. They're just putting themselves over constantly. And don't get me wrong, their matches pop a crowd, but that is their aim. They are crowd poppers, so watching it on TV is not entertaining. And do you know what, Sam? We then watched them twice now live, and I wasn't popping. I was bored for the FTR match, and then I was super bored for the triple threat with Acclaimed and FTR.
I believe I used that match to go and get beer.
You went and got a drink.
I thought, Young Bucks here, perfect timing. I should now leave and get some beverages.
It's the fact that it's constant super kicks, it's constant no selling, it's constant no tag team psychology between them. They just get in the ring. Eventually, the refs with the Young Bucks match just have to throw their hands up and go, "There's no tags anymore. We've given up on tags," and every match is the same. Now, don't get me wrong, I know there are some good matches here and there because they're going to be some great workers like Penta and Phoenix, for example. It's very hard to have a bad match when you've got them guys flying around. But the no selling of 1,000 Canadian destroyers, 100 super kicks, doing constant, huge, big dives and then just getting up and carrying on. They don't sell anything. There's no psychology. It's just, do you know what they are? They are a wrestling game. You know when you're playing a game, you don't do psychology, you just do big move, big move, big move, big move, big move. And it's boring.
I think that's even being generous because I enjoy games and I don't enjoy
but you're not watching.
No, I agree.
If you sat down and watched the game going, I'm going to watch this like it's wrestling, you would be bored really fast.
I agree completely with what you are saying, the metaphor that you are trying to put forward. I'm saying they're even worse. I really... They've got no humility about them whatsoever.
Yeah.
They always have to make everything about themselves. They are two of the worst people to make EVPs of a company ever.
Don't know that decision.
It's no coincidence that they got themselves into that position because it's kind of what they're into. They think that they are God's gift ultimately, from what I have seen.
But I don't want to talk about them as people, if I'm being perfectly honest. I want to talk about that every time they're in the ring. I'm bored.
Yeah.
And because they're EVPs, they're always over. It was always about them. And they were there going, we want to make tag team wrestling a main event. You failed. It didn't main event. It hasn't main evented a pay-per-view. Not once. No. Hasn't done it once. And because no one's interested in you. And people go, oh, if they're in WWE, they'd be well. They wouldn't have been, because WWE would have told them, you can't do these matches that you're doing. It doesn't work. They would have had whatever their people, Chad Gable's people, all that, like agents and that one going, no, that's not how it's going to be.
Yeah.
You can't do it like that.
Because
that
it's lazy. At its core, it's lazy.
Penta already changed. Penta changed immediately. Come to WWE, his first 5 matches, he went, oh, you've already learned that you can't do what you were doing in AEW. You've already learned that fact. Yeah. So for me, I would like to get rid of Young Bucks matches. They are some of my least favourite wrestlers of all time. And do you know what, Sam? This is the funny thing about it. This is the really annoying. Ricochet's in this boat as well. I was ahead of the curve. I've been banging on to you about the Young Bucks and how rubbish they were before AEW existed. I was telling you that these lads, there's a reason they're not in WWE because they're blah, 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 and I ran off. And then suddenly everyone now moans at them. Same for Ricochet. How much was I telling you about Ricochet? When we first met and you went, what do you think of Ricochet? I went, oh, it's rubbish.
Well,
I was 2019.
Well, Sam,
2018.
As someone who called John Cena's heel turn, I know what it's like to be ahead of the curve, Sam, so I feel your pain there.
Sam, get over it. 6 months ago. Get over it. I know you're still living off it.
Sam, I would brag about that till the day I die. That would be on my gravestone. I saw it coming. Like Bray Wyatt, I knew it all along. But yeah. I completely agree. I used to like them. You know why I used to like them, Sam? Because I had heard of them and I hadn't watched them properly. And again, it's different tastes to different tastes, but I feel like in wrestling, there's certain principles that you need to adhere to create good stories and matches and to structure a match. And there's a reason why some matches are good and some matches are bad, because usually you're not just necessarily following a formula, but you're using good building blocks, and there's a sequence and there's timing and the psychology is the key word. If we were to do a power rankings,
I don't know where we would go.
My word, that might be a decent little experiment.
I'm excited to do it. We'll do it. We might do it in 2026, maybe 2027. After we had a bit more time when they've come back and done their things and whatever. I would like to add Young Bucks matches to the Lockbox.
Spot on.
Sam, you head up about this. What would you like to add to our Lockbox?
It's, you know what? In these videos, we get a bit miserable and a bit ranty about certain things.
Yeah.
Sam, I feel like this is about to strike a nerve with you. It's actually quite weird how we've not coordinated this, but we have actually gone quite similar themes.
Okay. Interesting.
You've gone Young Bucks matches. I've gone Triple H long matches. Yeah, I knew that would get that exact reaction. Triple H is a good wrestler when he doesn't have too much time. He is like...
If he has 20 minutes,
he's
dead on 20, Triple H matches are fabulous. And he's fit. Fit and strong. Fit and healthy as well. He is fabulous.
He's great. He's really good psychology. But in some ways, not too dissimilar to the Young Bucks, he gets very self-indulgent, and especially WrestleMania
He gets self-indulgent before even match starts. Because you go to yourself...
The entrance takes 30 minutes.
You feel like someone goes, right, Triple H, how long are you going to get? Match and entrance. Oh, give me 25. And he goes, no, make it 45. I got a 10-minute entrance to do. And then I'm going to do 35 minutes with Seth Rollins. And can't keep up for 15 minutes of it. Oh,
so it was especially a problem in his part-time run, but you think of his reign of terror as well. You also have those matches. He thinks for some reason, I think he's gone right because he's a wrestling romanticist. That's why he's the booker right now. And he probably watched some of the AWA stuff. Oh, no, they're doing these really long matches. But that was at a time where wrestling fans completely thought it was real and they were seeing a real fight. If you go back and watch those now, they wouldn't work for the current
And they had to have
audience.
the long matches because they were trying to keep people strong by having time limit draws.
Yeah, exactly. So he loves that, and because he likes that, he thinks that people will like that because, oh, look, I'm being the traditional wrestler. Like, there's a reason that stuff is mainly left in the past, apart from exceptions where occasionally we get a 30-minute match on a pay-per-view, which is a really good match sometimes. He is so self-indulgent, and the matches that he has that are really long never work. He's always obsessed with really slowly working a body part that never usually pays off anyway, and it's just bad. And I just think if you ban Triple H for his entire career for going more than 20 minutes, you'd like him a lot more, I think.
I think so. I'm a relative fan of Triple H, but he's ruined so many of my childhood memories. Let's go from WrestleMania 29 onward. Just WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar went way too long, and he won, and it was all about him. 30.
Oh, but how long was the match, Sam?
Not 30 minutes.
Yeah,
but it was great.
Great match.
But it was great. 31, Sting. A lot of gimmicks, but also went way too long.
Enjoyed it, but went too long.
And then we go into the doldrums. 32 with Roman Reigns. What is that match?
Why was that so long?
Why was it the main event? And then we've got Seth Rollins which did not work. He thought, he's like, we're going to have the crowd in our hands. They're really, really into the storyline.
It did for 5 minutes.
And then it did for the last 2 minutes, but for 27 minutes in between, you killed the crowd.
Oh, it killed the momentum of the show.
And in his head, he was there going, the crowd are on the edge of their seats, they've got silence because they're encapsulated. No, they weren't.
You're telling yourself what you want to hear. Yeah, I completely agreed.
Batista.
Oh.
2 men who are now past it.
We had the mixed tag match, didn't we?
Yeah. That's great.
That was right.
That was nice and short again, and that was great. And then I forgot about that, to be fair. Yeah. And then the Batista match was just ridiculous. It was so long. It just wouldn't end. Triple H cannot have a match longer than 20 minutes because he's usually the heel. I actually can't. Every match we've just mentioned, he's not been the babyface, bar the Batista one.
No, I can't think of many babyface matches that he had that were really long.
And that's the thing is, the worst match is Bad Blood 2004. He has a Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels that goes into the 40s, and Sam, it sucks. It's self-indulgent. They spend most of it lying down. It's awful. And you know my feelings about his Undertaker matches at WrestleMania. I'm not a fan of them either. They're not as bad as these, but I'm not a fan of them. You're absolutely right. This is I hate these matches because they just the life drains out of you, because when he's the heel, he slows everything down to a crawl and like bisects a body part, which is great. But
in moderation.
But he doesn't have a submission move.
Yeah,
or his pedigree doesn't form to it. And you're going, why are you doing these moves? It doesn't mean anything.
True.
You're also a powerhouse. Why are you doing an Indian deathlock for 20 minutes on Booker T at WrestleMania 19?
Like, killing a match is momentum is one thing. He's killed multiple WrestleManias. He's killed the momentum of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after, I think his Batista match was thankfully just after Kofi Mania.
Yeah.
Which is the big moment of that. And that was too long anyway.
We nearly fell asleep.
Oh, Sam,
we were dying. We were in a bar.
Really rough.
It just never ended, and then they didn't follow it with any great matches. We had Lashley and Finn and Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin's what followed it. So we weren't. That pay-per-view falls off a cliff after Kofi Mania. Absolutely falls off a cliff. Do you know what, Sam? You're absolutely right. Let's put two of the most self-indulgent acts in the history of wrestling together in the Lockbox. The Young Bucks matches and Triple H post 21-minute matches are all going into our Lockbox. Thank you very much for joining us. What would you put in your Lockbox this month? What do you think of ours? Are you a fan of Young Bucks? Are you a fan of Triple H long matches? Please let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we shall see you next time for our only negative series, really. And we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And this was shorter than a Triple H match.
Triple H match would have hated this. He wouldn't be able to get in his stuff.
Taking this long to cover Booker T.
Oh my god, it took him this long to cover Booker T.
Yeah.